Now that we have our moss giant and our spider set up and we have our base class enemy that is handling the shared functionality, and we have the opportunity to use the moss giant and the spider as individual enhancements if we wanted to, then what we need to do now is the last one, which is our skeleton. So for the skeleton, what we can do is together we're going to set it up and use the base class enemy. We don't need to reprogram the functionality because we've done this twice now and we're pretty confident that it works. So let's just give it a try of simply adding in just the, let's inherit from enemy, and let's just add this script to our skeleton, and let's see if the behavior and functionality is broken and see how much time we have saved. So to get started, we do need to do the initial setup of slicing these and setting up their animations. So select your skeleton folder underneath the character sprites, skeleton, and let's look at the skeleton idle. Let's set the sprite mode to multiple, open up the sprite editor, hit apply, and let's go ahead and slice these grid by cell size, and I believe these are going to be 128 by 128. Hit slice, and that was incorrect. You can see here that they did not slice boxes around them. So if we go back to slice by grid size, change it to 256 by 256, and that was more proper. All right, once you've done that, hit apply. Once that's finished, you can X out of this, select your walk animation, and before we continue, make sure you're always doing the pixels per unit to be 256 units. That's going to give it the highest crisp quality. Alrighty, once you've done that, select your skeleton walk. Pixels per unit is going to be 256. Sprite mode is going to be multiple. Open up the sprite editor. And we're going to slice by grid size, 256. Make sure that each box is consistent, hit apply, and we're good to go. The next step that we need to do is we need to set up our skeleton. So let's go to the skeleton idle, the first frame, and where do we want to position this guy? Let's go ahead and position him, I'd say right here on this platform to the left of us, so we can see it. So let's go ahead and take our skeleton here, our skeleton idle, and we'll position him right here. Just drag him into the scene view. Once you've done that, we need to then set the order in layer to 50, so it's on the same level as our other enemies and player. And you can see here that we can actually see him now. And if we shift him over here, we can see him in the game view. So he's obviously a little small, so let's go ahead and increase him to a 2x2. Oh, much bigger. Try 3x3. And there we go. So right here at 3x3, maybe even a 2.5. We want him to be proportionate to the player, but also maybe a little bigger and meatier. So let's go ahead and do a 3x3. I think that looks good. All right, so we got our 3x3 skeleton there, and everything looks fine and dandy. The next thing we need to do is we need to create a parent object by Control-Shift-N. Alternatively, you can go to Create Empty. This is going to be our skeleton parent object. So you're going to say skeleton enemy. We're going to 0 this position out, and then you're going to take the skeleton idle and you're going to drag it in there. Let's rename the skeleton idle 0 to sprite. And once you've done that, we can then set the position to be 0, 0, 0. Now we can take our enemy position, or the parent object, and move the actual enemy. So let's go ahead and position him right about here. All right, now that we can actually see him in the game view and scale size, we're happy with it. We're going to start him on this side so we can keep our waypoint system consistent. Now that he's set up, the next thing we need to do is we need to create the animations. I'll see you guys in the next video.